All right, what up, man? Welcome back. Got my boy Jay Lloyd, Craig Williams, OG Pops, and we got BG in the building. All right. Jay, go ahead and take it away. Let them know what your topic is.
Well, as we all know, man, we've been talking a lot about LeBron James in our past episodes, man. So I want to talk today about LeBron James and his expectations, and to see if we as a whole panel and in general agree or disagree. The one thing that people do when they talk about LeBron James is they talk about his off the court activities. And I wanted to make sure that I just focused on nothing but on court to still prove that I feel, exceeded his expectations. So I'm going to work backwards, and I'm going to go current, and I'm going to go backwards. So let's start in high school. This is LeBron James. Before the start of his junior year, LeBron James was featured on the Slam magazine. LeBron James was the first player in history as an underclassman to be featured on Sports Illustrated as a junior. And on the cover, it called him the chosen one. So even as a junior in high school, they had this guy pegged as the next guy, the chosen one. After all of that, his senior year, a majority of his games were on ESPN2. And in Ohio, his games were actually on pay-per-view as a senior in high school, okay? So let's talk about after that. So obviously with all those accolades, he gets drafted. He's a #1 pick to his hometown team, right? Which I don't think there's been anyone else who's #1 pick that went to the hometown team. He scored 25 points in his debut, most of all time for a high school player as a going to a pro prospect. He led the Cavs to the playoffs in his third season as the best player on the team, not arguably, and the NBA Finals in his fourth season. Okay, so we talk about accolades and stats. Even his start, he exceeded. Now let's get to the numbers. If you look at LeBron James as a whole, he got 3 championships, 3 Finals MVPs, 4 regular season MVPs, 16-time All-Star, 3-time All-Star Game MVP, 15-time All-NBA, 12-time on the first team, 2nd on the second, 1 on the third. He made the All-Defensive Team 6 times. 5 times he was first team. Second team he was once. He has 2 gold medals, okay? And before that, he won a championship in high school his senior year. He led Mount St. Mary's to the national championship. He was the Gatorade National Player of the Year in 02-03. That means as a junior and a senior. He was USA Today's Player of the Year, 02-03, junior as a senior. And he was a National Player of the Year for Parade, 02-03, as a junior and a senior. So that's one thing. Second part of what I'm going to tell you. Let's talk about the most hyped players by a list. This is a list that I found out. These are the most hyped high school players of all time. You got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You got Wilt Chamberlain. You got the Big O. You got Patrick Ewing, Tom McMillan, Greg Oden, Jason Kidd, KG, Kenny Anderson, and Bron. So if we look at that whole list, he is better than everybody on that list. The only person that is debatable is Kareem. Because to me, the only person who has comparable expectations is Kareem. Because Kareem was the other person as a senior who was on Time Magazine as an 18-year-old senior. So if there's any other person that we could say was the most hyped and exceeded, it may be Kareem. The only thing that we focus on when we talk about LeBron are the losses. And don't get it wrong. He's got 6 losses. But let me end on that.
Oh, it's 6?
It's 5. Sorry, it's 5. Let me end on that, though. LeBron James, out of all the great players of all time, he's never had a Hall of Fame NBA coach him. Not once. He's never had a Hall of Fame coach. Kobe Bryant had Phil Jackson when he won. Kareem had Pat Riley when he won. All the great players who have ever played the game had a Hall of Fame coach. Second part of this that kills it to me. Every championship that LeBron won, that was the first championship for that coach. Think about that. Think about that. When he won with Miami, that was Espo's first championship ever. Ever.
Very underrated coach, by the way.
As a head coach. I got you. Then that's fair. And
he's a future Hall of Famer.
And then he came back with T. Lue, another player turned coach and won a championship with him, man. So
that he picked.
True. But at the end of the day, all those things are true. Lastly, let's look at him on the all-time scoring list. He's third right now in the all-time scoring list, and he's taking way less shots. He's not even known as a scorer. So he's going to get all the numbers in terms of scoring. He's going to be top 3 to 5. He's going to be top 3 to 5 in rebounds. He's had the target on his back since his sophomore year in high school, and he's done nothing but perform. He's been the best player in the world since his sophomore year in high school. Went to the hometown team, like I told y'all, who had never won. He won there. Yeah, he dipped to Miami. We know that. He won a couple there. But at the end of the day, man, we look at expectations. Honestly, from just a basketball standpoint, LeBron James has exceeded the expectations that were set for him. And like some of y'all are going to allude to later, I feel the dislike from LeBron is personal. Because if we just look at the numbers, and we look at the statistics, and we look at all of that, he has by far exceeded the expectations set for him. There's not been another number 1 pick who has went to their hometown, won a championship, and exceeded expectations. Like I said, the only person that y'all can tell me that's close is Kareem. There's no one else from high school all the way to his NBA career has had the target on the back like LeBron has and has delivered. That's it, man. What you gonna say?
That's solid. Does anyone want to go?
I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, B.
Or you want to go, Pops? You want to?
Go, B.
I agree with the basketball point of it, Jay. So, because we talked about it before we got on there, it was what expectations mean. Like I was like, what is it? Expectations as a person, or is it as a basketball opinion? I think Jared brought up along that, you know, as a basketball whole. So I 100% agree with you. I think from high school, everything you named, I only have to go through the facts that I have because you basically listed them all. I think he has exceeded the expectations, right? But with that being said, too, though, as personal expectations of myself, of just not just a Kobe, but just everybody that he's been talked about and been put over by some people, I still think he needs 1 or 2, right? Obviously, I think what's going to help him, and I think he might be able to get 1 or 2 more, if that, is obviously him not making the playoffs last year, and, you know, obviously everything going down right now. But I will agree with you on that. I as a person, it's not personal for me. I just, like, as what I've seen growing up with Cole, what I've seen with Jordan, everything I've researched with Jordan and all that, and everybody he gets compared to, I still think he needs a few more things, right? And obviously we talked about it a little bit last week with the self-proclaimed, you know, I'm the GOAT and this and that. If you're going to put those expectations on yourself, then I'm going to expect a whole lot more from you too, right? But it's all the numbers are great. All the accolades are great. I totally agree with that. It's just I still think he needs a few more, and that's always just going to be mine. If he gets 4 or 5, then to me that's that's going to be my expectations. He'll solidify him there. But you said it best. Like I said, I have my notes right here too about everything he's done coming out of high school. For him to have all that pressure is tough, man. And obviously him coming from a single parent home, him doing all the stuff he's done with schools and stuff like that. I totally agree with you on that. But it's just as a personal perspective of, players I grew up watching and things I've seen and things I've heard, I still think he has a few more to go. So I'll agree and disagree, if that makes sense. As a basketball standpoint as a whole, I totally agree. I mean, what he's been able to do, like you said, he's always had that target on his back, right? I think sometimes he does make that target a little bit bigger, when he does say certain things or he does walk around saying certain things. But, I mean, when you've been the man since you said, since high school, since a sophomore year, I guess you could walk around like that and feel that way. But only 2 points I'll disagree with you on is I don't think he's been the best basketball player in the world. So I still think, Kobe was out there. I think KD gave him a little run here and there. And then I think, obviously, Derrick Rose didn't win, but I think he was from Chicago too, right? And he was drafted #1. It would have been crazy to see what he would have been able to do. But that's my take. I agree with you as a basketball whole. I'm not going to hate on that. It would be foolish of me to be saying he hasn't accomplished or he hasn't exceeded expectations, because that just wouldn't be objective. But personally, I still think he has a few more things to do for my expectations. Obviously, coming to LA, it's going to be a little bit different. It's not Cleveland. It's not Miami. Obviously, Miami's had a little bit of history there before he got there. But it's LA. It's a little different, So I'm expecting at least one or two. I mean, all the greats that came through LA, even that, obviously they had longer careers and they were younger. But I'm gonna need a couple more from him as a Laker, so to speak. So that's my take on that.
All right, if anyone's not gonna go, I'm gonna go ahead and go.
I'll jump on real quick.
All right, go ahead.
One thing too, was stat Jared also too, that when I did some research on it, I realized I didn't know in 2008 he was the NBA scoring leader, which was huge, because like we talked about before, there's certain stat that you can attain one time in your career, and that shows what level you are as a basketball player. And this is something that a lot of people that are more like Kobe haters don't like the stat, but I feel like other than his championships with Miami, he's done way more with a lot less talent. And I fully agree that he made more of his teammates better than, say, a Kobe Bryant, just because of his style of play. Absolutely. His ability to distribute the ball, just the style of play, absolutely. And also, too, I feel like he's definitely exceeded expectations, because you can see by the way he came into the league and changed his game based on the criticism he got. Yeah, he was insecure, blah, 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 but you got to understand, when Cats, that was around the time Cats maybe were a few years away from being one and done or whatever, maybe staying 1 or 2 years. That was a pretty different landscape that he came into the league, and I think he's far exceeded expectations. We talked about players we argue could go to the Hall who had 3 and 4 and 5 All-Star appearances, but they have 16 All-Star appearances. I mean, also too, he went to how many times did you go to the NBA Finals? 8 consecutive times, and that's with inferior teams. I mean, and like I said before, when he was playing in Cleveland before he went to Miami, they didn't have anybody, and they had him running a 1-4 offense, doing it all on his own. So I definitely think that he's done so much with a lot more. So I'll leave it at that right now. But I feel like we said before the show, like Jay said, if he's like in top 2, 3 in all these categories, there's no way that you can argue that he's not one of the greatest of all time. I think it comes down to your personal preference and if you like him or not. But at the end of the day, it's all about numbers. I respect what you're saying, Brian, about championships, and that could be the ultimate decider of how good he is. But also too, sometimes it's the luck of the draw. I mean, how much better could he have done at Cleveland until he went back? And the Cleveland team that he won with, So it's like, and you look how Golden State won. They just happen to draft right and have 2 of the best shooters in the, whoever played the game. So having 1 championship is a lot. Having 3 is pretty dang good, So, I mean, that's my argument for now.
The greatest of all time, though. That's not enough.
Well, but at the same time, his career's not over either.
That's true.
Let me go before you, Jake. I meant to harp on this on your point. We were talking about the coaches, right? I agree with it. I'm not hating on that. As coaches, I feel like, and we've always talked about, we brought this up a few topics ago too, where it's a players' league, right? So do you really think the coaches have that much of an impact? I think they control egos. I think they control the locker room. But when it comes to who, we talked about it last week, I think LeBron and Kyrie were the best players by far on that court. I don't really think it had anything to do with Ty Lue. So to me, it's like, that's where I kind of disagree too. Like I as a coach, it sounds bad for me to say it, but players make you who you are, right? So it's like, I don't really think, I mean, it kind of does go to your point about, you know, he did win with 2 rookie head coaches and he got him rings. But I still feel like at the end of the day, it's more about the player.
Go ahead, Jay.
So 2 points, and I'll let you guys finish because I know we got to get it going. So my only issue with that point is you have the LA Lakers from 96 to 99 who have more talent than with the teams that Phil Jackson had. They had Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones. They have 4 All-Stars on that team one year. In 98, they had 4 All-Stars on that team with Dale Harris as the coach and lost. In 99, they got Glenn Rice, had way more talent on that team and lost. They get Phil Jackson, add AC Green, add John Sally, add Ron Harper, add dudes who are less talented than the dudes that they had before, and they win 3 championships. So I do feel like coaching does play somewhat of a factor at certain levels. One, yes, it's a players' league. Phil still needed Kobe and Shaq, but I don't think they win no championships if Phil doesn't come. And then to build on that part, here's the part that gets me a little bit. So we talk about being the guy. My only debate about this all is when we talk about Jordan, and I'm gonna keep it on point. We talk about Jordan, he was clearly the best player on his team for his 6. We talk about LeBron, he's the best player in history for 5. We talk about Kobe, he wasn't the best player in those 5. He was maybe arguably the best player in 3 of them. Maybe only 2 of them.
3.
Definitely 2 of them. Definitely 2 of them.
Let's not get up like that.
No, here's my point though. I just feel like if LeBron was the second best player on the team and he got carried by a D Wade, we will bring that up. But with Cole needed time to mature. He had Shaq, It's the same argument. If you look at Cole.
Cole was 12, Jay. He was 12.
Cole was the best player on his team for 2, maybe 3 of those rings.
Crazy.
LeBron James, like Craig said, was the best player with less. He got 3. He got 5 losses, man. But Kobe wasn't even the best player on the first 2 guaranteed ships.
Did that have to do with system? I feel like it was a lot of. It was a different game. It was just throw it down in the post. I'm not discrediting. It's true though. It's true though. We talked about it with this finals. It was throw it down to Shaq, let him go to work. Of course, he's gonna look like that.
Here's my point to that. If Kobe was ready, then we abandoned that because in 03, when they lost, they abandoned that. Kobe was a leading scorer on that team in 03. When Shaq started slowing down, Phil wasn't throwing the ball to Shaq like that. He was going through Kobe. So the same coach, we can't do that. We can't do that. Go ahead, BG.
I said, so we would have been cool. We would have been cool if so say how you said Phil started giving Kobe the ball. If he would have gone to the finals and lost, like LeBron lost, we would be cool with it? Or we'd still be like, well, he needed Shaq, obviously, because they lost.
I just don't feel like
you could play both. Like it could always
I just don't feel like Kobe's judged the same way when he loses. I don't. Kobe didn't make the playoffs for a couple of years. I feel like people just let that go. But every time LeBron loses, he's a loser. He's 3-5. All that. Like it's made bigger than it is. When other superstars have lost, there's no issue. But like LeBron got to the finals all those years. Yeah, he lost to better teams, but LeBron's a loser in the finals. When guys Cole didn't make the finals for 4 years. He didn't make the playoffs for 2. We didn't say nothing. Oh, he never enough talent. But it's cool with Cole never enough talent. He didn't make the playoffs. But LeBron can take teams with left talent to the finals, and he's
West
a
and
loser.
East, though.
If y'all don't knock it off,
West and East,
off.
though.
Sweat. Don't even win a game and get swept.
Going up against the Spurs.
He got to the finals with a 29-68 record. You kidding me, man?
Go, John. Go, John. Go, John. Go, John.
All right. So look, this whole notion about LeBron didn't have talent. First of all, LeBron doesn't need guys around him that can play make. So especially in his younger years. So I understand now when he says it, but he doesn't need guys around him that can play make. All he needs is this. That's all he needs. So for every team that LeBron had, quote unquote bums, they could shoot that ball. Mo Williams can shoot that ball. They always put They always put shooters around LeBron. LeBron is style of play, like Craig said. His style of play, attack 1-on-1, freaking nature, gets to the rack whenever he wants. If you gonna help, I got a shooter in the corner. Now, is that making a teammate better, or is that just enhancing something that he can already do? It's style of play, right? So
we're talking about expectations.
No, that's making someone better.
No, but also too is shot selection. This is shot selection. LeBron is not known for taking bad shots. He's more likely to find to make the compared to Kobe. You know how many passes Kobe, how many shots he shouldn't have taken when he had a man wide open. Come on now. Come on. I love Kobe too.
You know how many championships LeBron's lost passing the ball up?
Hold on, B. What position did he play, Craig?
Okay.
All right. No.
No. But at the end of the day, though, if you got to trust your teammates, and that's what Jordan learned to do when he found Kerr and Paxson. I mean, you got to find.
And Cole did too.
Teammates.
And Cole did the same.
I think that gave him probably additional 1 or 2 championships by finding the guys that were inferior on the team.
And that's fine. Just like same way Kobe had to learn how to trust his teammates, LeBron had to learn how to close, right? Every championship he had, every championship game, every championship ring he got, he wasn't the closer on that team. Name one team. He wasn't the closer. Now, we can point out the fact that Kobe didn't – you disagree, Jay?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Well, who? Which team?
He was the closer with all those teams. We're focusing on one shot. If that's
it's not
the case,
even – we're not focusing on one shot. We're talking about who was the closer.
Is John Paxson the closer in 93? Was Steve Kerr the closer in 97?
That is real bad analogy. That is really bad.
No,
that's really bad.
We're talking about one
that's
shot.
really bad because we're giving who for John Paxson and Steve Kerr, who had the ball to create that shot? Mike. So with Kyrie,
one play, yeah.
For with Kyrie and D Wade with Miami, who had the ball to create that shot? Kyrie. For D Wade.
But no, that's my point.
It's all ISO.
The shot that John Paxson hit from Horace Grant, we not sitting there saying, well, Jordan wasn't involved in the play because Horace Grant threw the ball to John Paxson. Jordan was the best player in the world.
You can't bring up Jordan because you don't even you can't even use it as an example because you don't even believe that Jordan can't close like that.
Nah, this is what we're doing.
Wait, John, do you think he exceeded expectations?
Oh yeah, my bad, man.
We gotta
way off topic.
We gotta bring it back.
Nah, man, because I get tired of dudes saying LeBron didn't have talent, but he had pieces around him that elevated his game.
And we have it on film, Jay. You said it before too.
Come on, man.
At the time, they were talented, and that year, that team was talented. They're not big names, but they were talented.
Let me close out so Pops can go. Hold on, Pops. My bad. Let me close out. Let me hot, man. My bad. When it comes to exceeding expectation, I think for me, he exceeded it. I guess he exceeded it. We can all agree that no one expected him to be as good as he is, right? Right? Yeah. So when he started even making his way to Mount Rushmore, so when he started exceeding into expectations, I think kind of new expectations start to emerge. No, is that possible? Like someone's not as good as where you thought they were going to be, and they get there. So, and you see how good their potential really is. So the expectation change. So, like Craig said earlier, career isn't done. So the expectation here, like he's still on his way up. He should have at least 5 championships, at least. Especially if we're in the debate on being the greatest player of all time. Y'all can sit here and act like championships don't matter. That's fraudulent. All right. Any player that has been considered to GOAT has at least 5. At least 5. Go ahead, Pops.
All right, James, I got to go to work because they're tripping tonight. Look here. Listen, let me bring this to y'all. The question is, did LeBron James exceed expectations? I would say it like this. When the young man hit Sports Illustrated, I think he did it right then and there. But now, as far as expectations, I used to go to that tournament in high school, what they used to hold for free out there at UCLA. You can watch back, pay $9 and watch games all day, go back home, go back and watch the games. When they brought LeBron James out there, we had to get out because LeBron James has sold that thing out. But we're going to say expectations. And by the way, fellas, he went to the finals 9 times in a row. 9.
6 of them.
It don't matter. It don't matter. I guarantee you a lot of guys in the NBA that would love that just have one chance. But I'm gonna give you a better nugget than this, because expectations. Now we remember the 2014-15 finals against the Warriors, right? They lost, right? They lost when Iguodala was the MVP. They lost, right? Iguodala was the MVP. That was fraudulent. The MVP of that series. Let me just give you some nuggets. Game 1, LeBron had 44 points and 6 rebounds. Game 2, 39 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists. Game 3, 40 points, 8 assists. Game 4, 20 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists. Game 5, 40 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. Game 6, 32 points, 18 rebounds, 9 assists. He averaged that series 35.8 points, 13.3 rebounds, 8.8 in assists. Now, we talking about most valuable player expectations. Now, we got to start looking at this man as really being great, man. The only person that had a stat close to that, and he won the MVP, was Jerry West when they played the Boston, averaged 37.9, 7.4 assists, and was the 69 MVP of that final because he was the best player. We got to stop this, man. LeBron James, we got to stop. We got to stop. People are hating on his greatness, just like they hated on Kobe's greatness. People didn't like Kobe. They didn't like him. If they could change it now, they'll go, hey, man, we should have gave this guy a little more hype than what we did. But they didn't like, his attitude. But LeBron James, man, he's exceeded. He's exceeded by far. By far. I'm like this. Oh, yeah, he knows it's pressure to win in L.A. He knows that. He knows he has to win. But if he doesn't win, hey, that's not going to really kill that career.
No, man, we can't just
that
give him a pass.
Like,
This is my point. I was going to say this point. How can we as coaches be okay with him losing, but if we lose a championship somewhere, it's different. I don't like we don't want the trophy. We don't like second. How is it okay? I get it, it's the NBA, but that's like that's a fake mindset.
Expectations, man. Expectations. Who? Right? And he's carried the league for how many years?